I stood there, heart pounding, clutching the envelope. Inside was a check for $20,000, not a loan, not a bribe, but a gift. A testament to my success, a bridge across the chasm of years filled with sneers and dismissals. I wanted him to see that his son, the one he'd dubbed a keyboard clown, had made it. That I was more than the sum of his disappointments. It was his 50th birthday, a grand affair in our family's backyard. My mother, aunts, uncles, even childhood neighbors gathered under strings of lights, the air thick with celebration and memory. His fingers brushed the envelope, and for a fleeting moment, I glimpsed pride in his eyes. Then he opened it. Then he laughed, a deep, mocking bellow that shook the earth beneath me. You think you can buy my respect? He held the check aloft, turning it like a cheap parlor trick. 20 grand? That's it. Before I could speak, he tore it down the middle, then again, the pieces fluttering to the ground like dead leaves. My mother sneered, shaking her head. We don't need money from a keyboard clown. Laughter erupted, my aunts, uncles, even the neighbors who'd once watched me flounder as a kid, all cackling like it was a grand jest. Shame flared in my chest, scalding and sharp, echoing the day my father's laughter drove me from the garage, my ink-stained hands no match for his grease-streaked pride. For years, I'd been their silent benefactor, the invisible hand that kept the lights on and the creditors at bay. The mortgage, utilities, my mother's endless online shopping sprees, my father's spiraling credit card debt, I paid it all. They never asked, they just assumed. And I, ever the dutiful son, complied, each payment a silent plea for approval that never came. That night, as I drove away from the party, the laughter still echoing in my ears, something inside me fractured. I pulled over, hands trembling on the steering wheel, and made a decision. With a few taps on my phone, I severed the financial umbilical cord, every auto pay, every recurring transfer, cancelled. The mortgage, the credit cards, they were no longer my burden to bear. The first missed call came the next morning. Then another, then a dozen more. By noon, my voicemail brimmed. My mother's voice, shrill and furious, why isn't the electricity bill paid? My father's bark, now laced with panic I'd never heard before, you better fix this, boy. By the third day, their texts turned desperate. Mom, the mortgage is past due. They're threatening foreclosure. Dad, the bank declined my credit card. Fix this now. I didn't respond. For once, I let them feel the weight of their own lives. 5 days later, a knock shattered the silence of my apartment. I opened the door to my father, his face a mask of barely contained fury, and my mother, her eyes swollen from tears. Is this how you treat your family? He spat, shoving past me into the living room, his presence a storm cloud swelling the space. A joke? I laughed, incredulous. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You tore up my gift and spat in my face. My mother scoffed. We raised you. You owe us. Owe you? I stepped closer, voice steady. I've paid your bills for years, funded your lives, and you still see me as a punchline. You wouldn't have that money without us, my father shot back. The roof we gave you, the food we fed you. I met his glare. And I've paid you back 100 times over. Silence fell. For the first time, I saw fear in their eyes, not of losing their home, but of losing me. From my pocket, I pulled another envelope, not a check, but a stack of bank statements, transfer records, mortgage payments, credit card settlements, all mine. I dropped it on the table. There's your proof, I said, cold as steel. Every dollar, every sacrifice. My mother's hands shook as she flipped through the pages. My father's face darkened. You can't abandon your family, he muttered. Watch me. I crossed to the door and held it open. Leave. They hesitated. My mother's lips quivered. My father's jaw clenched. But they saw it now, the door they'd assumed would always swing wide was shut. They shuffled past me, silent, defeated. As the latch clicked, I exhaled. Freedom coursed through me, sharp and clean. They tried, of course, weeks of texts, voicemails, guilt trips. I held firm. The foreclosure notice came. My mother begged. My father threatened. But I was done playing savoir. When the house slipped from their grasp, they hurled their blame at me like stones. But I stood firm, unshaken. Their ruin was not my doing, it was the consequence of their choices. For the first time, their judgment slid off me like rain on glass. I was no longer their marionette, dancing to their tune. I was free.